Okay, everyone, let's go ahead and get started here. I'm showing 9 o'clock, so we will go ahead and kick off the training here. I know quite a few people need to watch the recording, so that is great. We've got a few people on live, and we'll go ahead and get started, and then several people have been watching the recording, so we'll just go that route. While I'm doing this, I'm just sort of pulling up a post from Wishing to Winning March 2018 private Facebook group here, because I want to talk about something really cool that ties into our topic tonight. I just got to find it here. I want to get it queued up so we're all ready to go. So while I'm doing this, just a quick recap. So the week 1 training, and we'll just do a couple little bullet points here to just get us caught up to date, just a quick review. Hopefully you've had a chance to watch the first 2 trainings on vision boards and declarations. If you have not, they're both posted on our private Facebook group page. You can go and check those out. Just search for vision board and declarations. You'll see them in the videos there. You can watch those. They're both just over an hour long. Really good information in there. It'll get you all caught up. It's still not too late if you haven't caught those yet to just jump in, just carve out a couple hours over the week and get those in, and you'll get right caught up. So the biggest thing that I like to emphasize with this program is that 80% of our success is determined on our mindset. Let's call it our thoughts. I think for the purposes of this particular thought, they're interchangeable. So 80% of our success in life is determined on our thoughts and our mindset. And the reason we know this is because thoughts lead to emotions, lead to our actions, which lead to results. So it all starts right here with our thoughts. So that's why 80% of our results, our success, our accomplishments are determined by how we start out with our thinking. Another way to think about this is you're not gonna, you don't plant a tomato seed and get a pear out of it or an apple out of it, right? It all starts with your thoughts. So these techniques that we've talked about in the first couple of weeks have all been helping us create better thoughts so that we can ultimately get to better results in life. So the first week, we talked about a vision board. So the visual here, I know I go crazy with the whiteboard. I just really love talking this stuff out here. Hopefully that's okay with you guys. A vision board works on our visualization, so what we're seeing. And as we visualize on our vision board, if I just put a vision board here, it's a frame either on your bedroom wall when you first get out of bed. You can see it right there every morning and night, or maybe on your bathroom mirror. I'd also encourage you to put on your phone. We even had somebody really cool posted something on our Facebook group that I noticed that they've created like a little booklet that they can take with them throughout the day that has their vision board image and writing on it. So that was sort of a cool idea. But anyway, we're going to have one or more items on our vision board. And what you're looking for is a picture that looks as close to that end result of what you're shooting to get, your goal in life, whatever it is. We put that picture in there on the posting. And then just below that, we're going to handwrite a sentence that describes that item. And you can type out the description as well. It's going to work as well. But there's something about handwriting it that takes it sort of to that next level. There's next levels for all of these things. So actually handwriting it, seeing it in your own writing, it sort of does something and takes it to the next level. So I'd encourage you to handwrite these little descriptions. So I now have 9 items up on my vision board that works really good for me. I would start out with 1 or 2 if you're new to this. And again, you're going to get up in the morning, look at this, study it, try to involve as many of your senses as possible. involving your senses and getting emotion into your vision board is like pouring gas on a fire. It's just going to escalate the timeline of getting to that item faster and faster by studying it. And I mean by that is if you're, for example, if you want that new car, picture yourself sitting in that car as you look at it. And I know this gets a little weird, but visualize yourself actually getting that item. And your mind is going to get on board, and you're going to start this process of getting your thoughts in motion for this thing quicker. And that's what we're looking to do with these techniques of vision boards and declarations, is to change our thinking. Okay, so that was week 1. Week 2 was our declarations, which are the words that we tell ourselves on a daily basis. And specifically, we're going to have our declarations, if we just put them right here. I like to post mine right next to my vision board. And you're going to have 4 or 5 or 6 lines of declarations there. These are positive, uplifting statements that you actually read out loud to yourself that are, again, going to help us set the seeds and the roots of better thoughts and thinking in our mind so that we can create better results. So I love to do my declarations with epic music behind them. But again, you're just going to get up in the morning, 3 minutes, look at your vision board. Right after that, read your declarations. Probably takes about 1 minute. I think that's what we timed when we did the training. It took me 1 minute to read my declarations. And I've got several more. I've got 9 or 10 in mine. So 4 minutes in the morning, 4 minutes at night. Does that make sense to everyone, that quick little recap? If you got that and you're all caught up, just throw yes in the chat box real quick, just so I can see that we're all on the same page. Okay, great. Thanks, Dana. Jenny, Marisol. Okay, great. Looks like everyone's on board. So we've got an awesome foundation, guys, to now take things to the next level. And by the way, how many of you are starting to have some really good, are noticing some changes as you're doing your vision board and your declarations? Is anyone starting to notice some differences in the way you're talking to yourself, the way your thoughts are changing as you utilize these things? Hopefully you're noticing, man, mine, it only took a matter of days, especially my declarations, something about just realizing how powerful my thoughts are, and rather than talking bad to myself, number one, but also trying to be really careful about not talking bad about others, I just really was more conscious about that, and it's something that will really help you and benefit you. So there's our review. Again, hopefully you've got a vision board and some declarations up in your home. You're using those, you're working your mind. And now today we are going to talk about action steps. I've got my friend Eric Jensen, looks like, logged in here. I want to just take a minute, Eric, and tell him a little bit about this fun experience that we had with a couple of your items that you've been looking to get done. So I'm just going to take some liberties here, Eric, with paraphrasing your story, and I apologize if I get any of this wrong, but the general idea here is that Eric, if you go, and he posted a really cool video, I think it was this one here on March 6th, Eric, if I'm not mistaken. But basically, Eric he's had these 2 open projects at his home for quite some time. And they're things that he has to look at every day when he walks past them. He's like, oh, crap, I've been wanting to get to that. We all have these, right? Who has these unfinished projects in your house that you can think of, or just other things that you've been putting off for weeks and weeks, maybe even years, right? Well, Eric's is, one of them was on his back porch. He had this unfinished trim piece. That trim piece is probably not quite the extent of what it was, but it was some finishing pieces to his back porch, his back deck, excuse me. And what happened is when he first moved into the home, the inspector said, hey, I'd really like you to get this done in 30 days to sort of clear, that item from the inspection report, and just sort of get that cleared up. Well, 9 years later, Eric still had not done it. And he sort of mentioned this in the post that he put in our Facebook group page here. And so I reached out to Eric directly and just said, hey, Eric, this will be really fun, because this will sort of tee up what we're going to talk about in week 3, which is our action steps. So what I told Eric, I said, hey, man, I'm going to help you out here. you've got this desire to get this project, and you had another one with a vehicle in his car that he had been wanting to get to. So I said, look, I'm going to work with you on this. I'm going to be your accountability partner. And what I want you to do is I want you to pick an action step towards this goal of getting your deck all finished up. And I want you to pick one item, just break it down into small bite-sized pieces. Just give me one item for that day that you're going to work on and that you're going to commit to me that you're going to do. And then I want you to text me back in the evening and let me know if you did it. Okay, so pretty simple, right? So Eric did this. He said, okay, hey, today I'm going to do this piece. I'm going to, you know, I've got to do some stain. I've got to put the pieces together, blah, blah, blah. And it was only like a matter of a week or something where Eric got this thing completely done. It's off his list. So now when he walks past it, he doesn't have to use energy and beat himself up because that project's still left unfinished. See, what we don't realize is all these little unfinished projects that we have in our life, they use up energy because we think about them. They sort of bug us, right? They're on our mind and they take up mind power. Our whole goal here is to free up those thoughts and make them more positive. So if we've got all these little unfinished things in our life, then it's taking up mind power. It's taking up energy to think about them. So by knocking those out and getting some of those completed, you start to free up energy. You start to get more motivated. And this is something that I think Eric has experienced since he got done. He's like, man, this feels great to have this done. So that's sort of a little, I think, a good introduction to this topic of action steps today. So guys, this is a really fun topic. It's a fairly simple topic, but a really, really important one because it allows us to start to actually now implement and start stepping towards our goals that we have in life. So again, I like to use this example of those that have, those that fail at New Year's resolutions and those that succeed at those resolutions. We know from studies that only about 8% of people actually keep to their resolutions. I think this number carries forward fairly similarly. It might even be a little worse for goals that we set just throughout the year, meaning that over 90% plus are not getting to their goals. They're not sticking with it. Action steps is one of those missing pieces that are going to help you get there and help you to implement a little bit more of a regimen to keep with your goals. So let's go ahead and dive into it now and talk a little bit about these action steps. So what I think the best thing that you can do is think about your vision board. Now, however many items you have on it, doesn't really matter. What I'd like you to do is similar to Eric, I want you to go ahead and pick one of those items, okay? Pick one of those items that you've got as a goal on your vision board, and let's sort of use that as the thing that you're gonna focus on as we go through the training today, okay? So think about that item, and before we do anything else, I want you to commit right now. I'm gonna have you throw it into the chat box. Give me the percentage commitment, 0 to 100, of how committed you are to getting that item done and accomplishing it. Go ahead and throw in your number there. Let's see what those commitment levels look like. All right, Marcia, I like it. Starting off with 100% there. Dana, great. Eric, 100, great. Okay, guys, I love it. Jamie's 98. Okay, hey, that's pretty good. That's very committed. Okay, great. Looks like we got some great commitment level here. So that's the number one step, guys, is being committed to it. What I mean by being committed, I went to training here, I think it was in January. Holly and I went down to Salt Lake, and there was a guy named Satema Nali, spelled G-A-L-I, but it's pronounced Nali. He used to play football at BYU. He went and played professional in the NFL for the Patriots, and really cool guy. He's now a sort of a motivational speaker. He's a mentor. He's a coach. And the thing that he talked about commitment a lot, and it really stuck with me. He basically said, if you're 100% committed to doing something, what that means is, the example he gives is, if you are committed, this is just, to get your mind in the right place. If you're committed to moving a mountain, and your tractor breaks down, all the tools you're going to use break down, you're going to crawl up to the base of that mountain and you're going to start clawing at it and digging away at it with your hands. And you're going to dig it with your hands until that mountain has moved and you've moved it elsewhere. Okay, that's sort of what we're talking about with the commitment level. Is we're so easy to let ourselves off the hook all the time, right? They have what's called the chicken exit on roller coaster rides. Another mentor of mine has shared this chicken exit analogy, which I love, which is if you go on down at Lagoon, they've got Wicked, right? So I'd say probably one of their scarier rides. And if you get right up, go through the whole line, you get right up to the ride and you like last minute say, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. This is too scary. They've got a little place where you can sort of escape off to called the chicken exit. And you can get off the ride and not ever have to get on it and get freaked out or whatever, and get off the ride, go wait for all your friends to get done and then meet back up with them. So what we want to do is take away those chicken exits, okay? Action steps helps us keep on track a little bit more. Also, declaring what our commitment level is keeps us off the chicken exit as well. So the next thing that we want to do, let's just maybe write these things down, okay? We've got, so number one, choose our goal we're going to focus on. Number two, what is our commitment level? Okay. Number three is we are going to immerse ourselves in studying and learning more about the goal that we're looking to accomplish. Another mentor of mine, Russell Brunson, he's probably arguably the best online marketer in the world. He lives just up in Idaho, up in Boise. Super, super cool guy, fairly young, but man, the guy's just a genius. He is a huge proponent of this concept of immersing yourself. What he means by this is if you want to become an expert at a certain topic, you have something you're really interested in, he's convinced, his whole thing is, I guarantee if you go buy all the at-home study guides, the books, watch YouTube videos, if you do that, just completely immerse yourself in that topic for 1 week. He just says 7 days you do that, you're going to become essentially an expert at that item, right? There's that 10,000 hour expert number that's thrown around, but he really believes that you can become more knowledgeable than most, like 98% of people out there, if you just immerse yourself really diligently, really in depth for a short period of time. You can get a ton of information on a topic. So take your goal that you're shooting towards and immerse yourself in all the ways to get that goal. What does it look like? What are some different steps to get to that goal? Just watch videos of people that enjoy that lifestyle of the item that you're looking to do. Whatever the goal is, just immerse yourself in it. Get knowledgeable about it. This is just going to give you more and more ammo. And again, it's another thing that gets your thoughts in the right place. And we know where those thoughts lead ultimately, right, to our results. It gets your thoughts thinking and your brain on board with, okay, I'm knowing more and more about this item, and it's starting to kick out more ideas of how we can ultimately get there, okay? This next one is maybe the biggest thing that we're going to talk about tonight, next to the actual action steps, but really right hand in hand. Find yourself a mentor or two. And what I really like to do here is go find 3 to 5 people. Some will cost money, others are willing to help you out for free. In fact, a lot of them are willing to help you out for free. Go find, what I mean by a mentor is, who is someone that has already got or accomplished this thing that you're looking to do. Okay, so let me throw out some examples. If your goal is, I want to make $250,000 this year, okay, and you've never done that, you need to go find 3 to 5 people that consistently make $250,000 a year or more, and go talk to them and ask them these 2 questions. What did you do, or what did it take to get to the point where you're making $250,000 a year? And number 2, what are the steps that I should avoid that don't work on the path to making that kind of an income? Okay, so the do's and the don'ts of how to get there. And what you're going to do is you're going to write all of these things down. Have a do column and a don't column from these people you talk to. And you might be asking, well, how do I find these people? Just ask around. I guarantee if you talk to a few people, hey, who do you know that consistently makes $250,000 or more? Who do you know that makes $250,000 or more? You're going to quickly get, you know, several people there that fit that bill that you can reach out to. Say, hey, would you be willing for me to take you to lunch? I want to ask you some questions of how you became successful. Everyone's got to eat. A lot of people are going to be cool with you taking them out to lunch. And just pick their brain. Ask them some questions. Now you've started to compile a list here of the things that you need to do to accomplish your goal. And it's so important. Who better to ask than people that have already done it, right? A lot of times, this is another thing a place where we get hung up on goals, I think, is we try to figure it out all ourselves, right? So this immersion piece is very important, but it needs to be a companion to a mentor, right? So go learn as much as you can, but part of that is let's go talk to people that have done it. And the combination of those two things is going to be very powerful, all right? Now, the next step here is, sorry, I'm checking my notes, making sure I'm not missing anything. Yep. So number 5 is we're going to track how we're doing. Okay, so we've chose our goal. We have a commitment level. We've immersed ourselves. We've talked to mentors and got our list here of our different steps. And then we need to track those steps. What you track and focus on is going to grow. It's going to grow. It's going to improve. If you track it, it will improve. Anyone that runs a business, if you track your monthly revenue and profits over several month period, they naturally grow because you're focusing on them. Okay, so tracking your success, your pathway to success is very critical because it makes sure, number one, that you're doing steps consistently to get there, but you're also convincing your brain that, man, we're making progress. This is cool. You continue to get motivated and you push through to the finish line. So the tracking. Who saw the file that I posted on our private Facebook page here a little bit ago that deals with action steps? Did you guys see that post? It was just prior to the call, maybe an hour or two before. Did anyone see that? If not, I want you to jump onto our private Facebook page when you get a moment. And in the left margin, you're going to see an option that says Files. Okay, and then if you click Files, you're going to see a PDF document that I uploaded in the Files section. It's called Action Steps Tracker. Okay, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to try something here. I'm going to see if I can actually share my screen so you guys can see this thing. Sorry, just bear with me. This may be just a little risky. Okay, can you guys see? What are you guys seeing? Can you just chime in with the, let me see if I can find my chat section here. Okay, can you guys see my screen that says Action Steps Tracker? Just somebody throw in a note there and let me know if you can see that. Oh, here we go, chat. Where did you go? Yep, I see. Okay, great, thank you. Sorry, I couldn't find the chat. It sort of changed a little bit. Okay, so on this Action Steps Tracker, let's just walk through this thing. So this is on number 5, tracking. So this is a document I created for you. It's based loosely on some that I've seen in the past, but I've sort of just made it my own a little bit. It's a fairly simple document. What you can do is print this baby out. So you've picked your goal. We're going to write it down at the top. We're going to throw down our start date. And remember, again, this is something I love to do on vision boards is throw with your posting, your picture, your description, then put the date that you started, that you first put that item on your vision board. Obviously, we're not going to have our completion date because the game now becomes how quickly can I get this thing accomplished? How quickly can I get this off my vision board and into my accomplishment book? All right. Now, what you're going to do is these steps. I've listed 1 through 30. So maybe this is a a goal that's going to take me 30 days to accomplish. But what I've done is here on my number 4, after talking to those 3 to 5 mentors that have actually accomplished the goal that I'm looking to accomplish, as well as maybe some of that immersion material, I've now got my list of steps that I'm going to take, my action steps, and I'm just going to list them down this column, all of my steps, however many I have. You don't need to use the whole form if you don't need to. And I really like the idea of choose one a day. Sometimes what happens is we commit to too much in one day and we don't get it done, and then we don't get it done the next day, and we don't get it done the next day, and we start to fall off. This is sort of the New Year's resolutions pattern we see, right? Is you miss a day, you miss 2 days, and then before you know it, you've just sort of given up. So I like to pick an action step that's small enough and just do one a day. This is what Eric and I did together to help him get his deck all finished, is pick one action item a day that you can commit to and put that date, and then you're going to sort of list those out. So just have one a day. And then over here in the right side, you've got done or not done. So did you do it? Did you do that action item that day, or did you not do it? And be honest with yourself, right? We're not looking to impress anyone with all of your done check marks, right? This is to help yourself, because again, if we track it, then we've got a better chance of actually continuing forward and hitting our goal. So I would encourage you to check the box. Did you do it or did you not do it? And simply listing out the action steps is going to help us stay on track. Okay. So we'll sort of talk a little bit more about this tracker. Let me go back here to our webcam, maybe. Sorry guys, I'm struggling here a little bit. Hold please. Okay, I know there's a way to pin this. Well, maybe we shouldn't have shared, guys. Well, I apologize. I've got myself shrunken down here now on the screen, so. All right, well, we'll just have that work for now. Can you guys see me there on the video? Okay, look at the, okay. So you can see me, yeah, I'm looking for that pin. That's sort of what I used earlier. This is where I need Holly. She knows how to fix this. Okay. Sorry, guys. Video settings, here we go. Okay, well, we're just gonna go with this, guys. Sorry, a little small. Okay, now that's number 5 is tracking. Number 6 is report. Report, or that accountability piece, right? I know it's gonna be a little tough to see that. I apologize. So what we're gonna do is I would encourage you to find an accountability partner. Okay, it's probably not going to work as well if it is your spouse. I'll just throw that out there. I think you should probably try to find somebody that's going to be a non-family member that you can report to, and on a daily basis. So this is sort of the cadence that's worked for me. Eric and I did this, and I think he would tell you it worked pretty well. every evening have a check-in. So what that check-in consists of is, number one, you're going to tell the individual that your accountability partner what your action step is for the next day. Okay, so let's say me and Brandon are accountability partners. So in the evening, I'm going to shoot him a text message and say, hey, Brandon, my action step for tomorrow is whatever. Okay. And then the next day, so the first day, you're just going to sort of report your action step because you don't have anything to report for that day. The next evening, I'm going to text Brandon and say, Brandon, I did my action step for yesterday, and my next action step for tomorrow is this. Or I did not do my action step today. My next action step for tomorrow is this. Okay, so that's all it is. And the accountability partner's job is not to, they can certainly encourage and things, but it's not really even to encourage. It's just simply to be somebody that can be there as somebody that I can just simply report to, that I can send stuff to and just say, hey, here's my action step for today. I did my action step, or here's my action step for tomorrow. I did my action step today or did not. So just having that accountability piece, again, this is another way to sort of start taking away that chicken exit. If it's just us, we're like, oh, I'll start again tomorrow. But if I have somebody else, I'll tell you, there were multiple times as I did this with an accountability team that I had, where I was laying in bed to go to bed that night, and I actually got myself out of bed and went and did my action item because I didn't want to report to them the next morning. We had morning calls that I did not do my action step. Okay, so the power of accountability partners is huge. So utilize that step number 6. So having all these, let's do a quick review on these again. Choose your goal. Have a commitment level. I love those 100%. That's awesome because that shows you're super committed. Immerse yourself in learning about that goal. Go talk to 3 or 4 or 5 mentors that can give you some action steps. Let's get those down on the action step tracker, 1 a day. If you find yourself not doing the action step repeatedly, you need to break it down smaller. You're picking something too big. It's too much. Break it down into 2 or 3 pieces and just get it done over 2 or 3 days rather than trying to do it in 1 day. And then track it. I check either I did or I did not do it. And then find an accountability partner, somebody that you can text with every night to utilize those, to utilize this accountability piece and make sure that you have somebody that you can check in with. All right. Pretty straightforward, right? Pretty easy to follow. The thing that I love, let me dive just a little bit deeper on the mentor piece. And guys, I really wish I could figure this out. Let me take 2 more seconds and see if I can figure out this video piece. Nope. Well, all right, we're just gonna have to stick with it, guys. I apologize. Okay, let me go through and talk to you about mentors a little bit more. So here's a way to look at the power of a mentor. So this is the goal that, back to our example, our steps again. If this is the goal that you're shooting to accomplish, a mentor is right here. And technically they're sort of past it because they've already accomplished that thing, right? That's why they're a mentor, because there's somebody that has already got the thing that you're looking to get, okay? And let's say each of these little tick marks is an action step they took. Okay, action step, all the way through. So they took all these steps to get to their goal. These are the things they're going to share with you. Hey, you know, Brandon or Eric or Marisol, whoever, take these steps and this is going to get you to your goal. But the thing that's really cool, this is the added benefit, and the reason I wanted to do this diagram, the added benefit of a mentor is this. Okay, so this is you right here. at the start because you're looking to get towards this goal. Sorry, my line was very crooked there. The beauty of a mentor is this. They're going to say, hey, Dave, take this step, take these first 2 steps. Those are very critical. Don't do this step. It doesn't work. That's a waste of time. But then go ahead and do this step, skip these next 3 steps and take this step and you're there. So what does a mentor do for us? A mentor saves us time because they're going to tell us, again, remember those 2 questions I told you to ask a mentor? What works and what does not work? So what a mentor does is it shortens the amount of time that it takes to get to your goal because they're leading you down a path they've already gone down. Okay. So this is again why it's so important to have a mentor, because they are going to shrink that amount of time that it's going to take to get you there. All right. Everyone with me on that? Making sense? Maybe just throw something in the chat box there. Let me know that you're with me. Haven't put everyone to sleep at this point. Okay, sweet. Got some yeses coming in. All right. We will plug along here then. All right. A couple other things. We've sort of covered the real meat, but I'm going to, as I always like to do here as we keep going on, I want to give you some level 201 and maybe even 301 information, some other things like the frequently asked questions of action steps and accountability partners and mentors, just little things that I have learned as I've been, doing some of this my stuff myself over the last few years. And this will just help you get even better and better with these action steps here. So the first one is get better at forgiving yourself. I think this goes a little bit hand in hand with the declarations. So we know that talking negative to ourselves is very damaging. And the reason is because if you're talking and thinking negative about yourself, you're putting yourself on the thought pattern towards negative results, right? Because we know it all starts with thoughts. So we've got to be nicer to ourselves. We've got to be nicer to ourselves, number one, and we can always improve in being nicer to others. Okay, the same thing goes with forgiving ourselves. So if we miss our action step for the day, quickly forgive yourself 100% and get right back on the track the next day. This is another area where people fail in goals, is they miss a day and they basically just say, well, I've screwed up, I'm done, and they go back to whatever it is they were doing previous to going for the goal, right? Which is always tough because there's a reason you're going for the goal. And if you just retreat back to what you were doing previously, it's only a matter of time before you're wanting to go for that goal again. If you notice that, where you just sort of get in this cycle of not getting your goal, retreating back, and then going for it again. It may take 6 months, a year, or even years sometimes to go for that thing again. But there's a reason you get unsatisfied with being stuck in life and you want to improve. So just stay in the improvement cycle and utilize forgiveness of yourself a little bit more, and that will allow you to keep moving forward. So that's something that I always like to mention to people, is just get better at forgiving yourself. Get back on the track the next day, pick another action step, and go knock it out. And again, check in with yourself. If you're missing that action step a little more frequently, your action step might be a little too big and you need to downsize it, break it up into a smaller piece, start getting some success, and then you've gotten through that hurdle and you're on towards your goal again. All right. Make steps small so you can take them easily. We've emphasized this several times. I really like, make it ridiculously small to start with for your daily thing. And what you do is, as you make them small and you accomplish them, you start to build what's called accomplishment energy. And you start to get motivated. You start to feel good about yourself, like, I'm doing good stuff here. And so that will continue to build your confidence and your energy level so that you can stick with your goals. So just make them small. Don't feel like you got to bite off so much. A lot of times we make these daily to-do list of 20 items and we do 19 of them, but the only thing we can think about is that one that we didn't accomplish, right? So just, you know, keep that in mind. Don't be afraid to make those things really small and get some successes. Then you can always build and build and get them a little bit bigger over time. Make sure your goal is clear. This is a great one. So if we go back to our vision board, and again, I know this is going to be a little small, but I'll try to draw a little bigger. We go back to our vision board here, and we've got an item in the middle. And let's say, here's a good example. So we've got a glass. This is one that a lot of people do with water, and it's, our description is drink more water. How is that for a goal? Is that clear? I would challenge you to clarify that type of a goal a little bit more. Okay, how much more water? Like how much? Maybe what you do is you say, give an exact quantity of water you're going to drink every day. So each day, I think what they say is you want to drink half your weight in ounces a day, I think is what I remember. So I'm about 175 pounds, so that's what 80, I don't know, like 88 pounds or 88 ounces. Each day drink 88 ounces of water. So that would be a more clear goal. Okay, what you want to avoid is goals that you choose that you cannot clearly check a box to know that you hit that goal, that you accomplished the goal. Because ultimately what you want to do is you want to take these things off of your vision board and feel 100% confident that you accomplished that thing. And what I love to do is I've got a white binder, three-ring binder with those plastic sleeves that you can sort of see through. What I do is as I take things off my vision board, my goals that I've accomplished, I put them in this binder, and it's my vision board success binder. And it's filled with all these things that my brain told me you can't accomplish that thing when I first put it up there. And now what I'm doing is I'm providing my brain with evidence that I can pick goals that my brain initially thinks I can't do, and I can accomplish them by visualizing and by verbalizing. That's what I become, and I can accomplish that thing. So make your goals very clear. And this is what I mean by that. Make them so there's 100%, like it's objective, right? So I can clearly tell that, hey, I drank 88 ounces because I know I drank 7 of these bottles that are whatever, 12 ounces each, and I accomplished my goal. Okay, so make them clear. This is another one that I think is really funny, but is so true and so important. Make sure your action steps are leading you directly towards your goal. What tends to happen sometimes, and this is sort of where it gets funny, is say our goal is over here and we're starting to move towards it. Sometimes we pick action steps that really have nothing at all to do with our goal. We go a little AWOL, and just don't get off track with picking weird action steps. Does that make sense? I don't know. Sometimes we just want to feel like we're doing stuff, and we'll pick some weird, like, so for example, you know, I want to lose weight, and my action step is just something that has, I'm going to go, I don't know, I'm going to go watch a movie as an example, right? So you could probably twist that and figure out a way that applies, but that's what our mind does sometimes, is we're like, well, I just need a break, and I don't really want to, even though I know I should, I don't really want to pick an action step that's taking me towards my goal. So we get a little weird with them. Make sure that our action steps are taking us directly towards that goal. And how do we do that? We immerse ourselves in information, and we talk to mentors. They're going to give us the steps. That's the beauty of it, guys, is that we just learn from others, whether it's their written words and immersing ourselves, or talking to a mentor that's already accomplished that thing. We can get that advice from them and those steps from them. Yeah, well, if we find ourselves not taking our action steps, and this is why tracking is so critical, if we start to see a lot of not done action steps, we need to check in with ourselves and say, okay, why is this happening? What's going on? The one that I've hammered with you already is our action step may be too big. We need to break it down into smaller pieces. Another thing that may be going on is we are not using a mentor. Okay, so we've started to pick action steps that are just not in line with getting our goal. So check back in with the mentor. Make sure you've got that mentor. Sometimes we have challenges with our mindset. Okay, maybe we didn't commit 100% to getting to that goal. So we just, well, yeah, that was a good goal that I thought of a while back, but I'm just not really interested in it anymore. No, you committed 100%. And I've got your guys' saved chat box here, so I'm gonna make sure I save that and show it to you if you get off track on goals, okay? But no, if you commit 100%, that means there's not really a lot of wiggle room in 100%. So, you know, check in with ourselves, check in with our commitment level, and you know, we're gonna talk in a next, can't remember if it's next week or the week after, about emotional management. It's a massively important topic of how to start clearing some of the negative things that come into our mind as we go towards goals, how to sort of clear those out and get clear and charge ourselves back up and heading towards a goal. Make sure you don't stop tracking yourself, okay? If you find yourself not using this tracker or some other tracking system you're using, or you're not checking in with your accountability partner, something's up. So, you know, get to that. Don't get off track with tracking yourself and with reporting to an accountability partner. Those are critical in making sure that you're staying on track. Oh, this is something that I absolutely love. Okay, now I'm gonna write these down because I think these are so important. There's two really cool things, two major benefits of action steps. The first one is actually if we don't hit our goal, how can that be a benefit if we don't hit our goal? The benefit is we have learned something. Okay, we learned what didn't work. Okay, so we've learned what didn't work. Can you see where we're playing better thoughts with ourselves? We're using declarations in a different type of way here. So rather than I didn't hit my goal, I'm giving up, I'm going back to where I was, we're spinning that to ourselves and we're looking at the bright side, which is, hey, I figured out a way how not to do that thing, right? And you might laugh at that and say, well, that's just sort of trying to play games on yourself. No, it's not. It's a different, more positive thought that you learn that action step those action steps don't work. I need to not do those things. Let's go talk to a mentor. Let's go immerse myself in more information and get back on track. Forgive myself and get back on track. And obviously the second benefit of taking action steps is that a positive thing would be that you're getting closer to your goal. Now, let me ask you something. If you've got I'm looking over here at my action steps tracker, I'm not going to go over there again because I fouled everything up here. If you have all your steps written down here on your action steps tracker, let's say it's a 30-step thing that I'm going towards. I know if I do those 30 things, I'm going to get my goal. This is something that clicked for me that changed. It was a game changer. It really was. So goals move from being this like dream thing to an equation. Action steps equal my goal. So if I have 30 action steps to take and I take them, I'm going to hit my goal. Can you see how this becomes a math equation? That taking action steps that we know based on talking to a mentor is going to get us to our goal. A goal now becomes an equation. So really the things that keep us from getting a goal are not doing the equation correctly. We're picking weird action steps. we're giving up, we're taking a chicken exit, we quit tracking, we quit reporting. We're doing, we didn't talk to a mentor, we didn't immerse ourselves in learning about the goal. We're not looking at our vision board or our declaration, so maybe our thoughts are a little more negative, and it's getting us off the track of that result that we want to see. So I just love when things make sense like this and it becomes an equation. So that's something really, really cool that you can think about there. Okay, last couple thoughts. We've got about 10 minutes left here. I don't know that I'm going to take all of it, but I may. We're going to talk a little bit about getting to some science here a little bit. This is sort of fun too. How many of you are aware of neural pathways? Have you guys heard of neural pathways before, maybe from a biology class or something like that? So neural pathways are, the way that I like to think of them are these little roadways that we create in our mind that are things that we've done over and over again. And because we continually do them, these neural pathways become defined and they stick. And because we're hit with so many different, we're bombarded every day with so many choices and so many different different choices or options every day, our brain, in order to not overload, uses neural pathways to make choices and to help us decide what's important and what's not. So what we've got, let's say, for example, if we've got an item here, let's say it's a previous goal we had that we've actually accomplished. What that would look like is we've got a road that leads to that goal because it's something that we figured out how to do it, and we either built a neural pathway to it, or it's something that was just already sort of within us that we were easily able to get to because we had that neural pathway in place. What it looks like for a new goal is that your goal is up here and there's no established neural pathway to the goal. And as you learn about neural pathways, to establish a new neural pathway is work. It takes some effort to do this. What happens is we start using our vision board, we start doing our declarations consistently, we start to build a neural pathway. But how our brain works is in the evening, we have a lot of little new impressions of neural pathways that are based on the experiences we had for that day. But if our brain deems some of these as not necessary, it does like a cleaning job in the night as you sleep. So it starts to actually sweep away some of these new ones, so we're not creating too many. But the beauty of vision boards and declarations is that it forces our mind to continually think about this new theme. And so this is why vision boards need to be done consistently in the morning and in the evening, and declarations need to be done consistently, at least in the morning and the evening, is because it tells our brain, hey, I'm not letting you forget about this thing. And the neural pathway becomes established until we make the connection. We've actually built a new neural pathway to our new goal, and we have now accomplished it. We've taught ourselves something new. And this is really tough. You know, the whole saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. This to me is sort of what it's talking about here, is that it is difficult to build these new neural pathways and get to something new or accomplish something new and different. But you can get there through consistent focus on new thoughts, through visualization techniques, through verbalization techniques, and it's all the things that we've talked about here. Isn't that cool how we can do that with our building new neural pathways? And that's why I emphasize in this program that this is not quick fixes. You will notice results, very positive results immediately, but this can't just be something that you make a push for a couple weeks and you're done. You need to just make vision boards and declarations a new part of your life. Make room for them. It's 4 minutes in the morning, 4 minutes in the evening, 8 minutes total out of your day to dedicate to improving yourself and putting yourself on a new path. So just like eating good and exercising, all those things, just make those a steady diet and a consistent diet that you go through each and every day. So there's neural pathways for you. Sort of a fun thing to know and a good way to look at it. And it just drills home again the necessity for having consistency. All right, this topic here is, we've got one last thought, and then I'm going to give you your activity for the week, and then we'll be done for tonight. Thanks for hanging in there with this this weird video here we've got going on. So I like to talk about the subconscious versus the conscious mind. So I think we did touch on this in a previous week. I don't remember which one, but all of the things that we're trying to do to keep us on our goal are things that are keeping us conscious of our goal. So a vision board, you're conscious because you're looking at the items, you're focusing deeply on them. And when you're conscious of the item, you are not falling back into old patterns. See, the problem is when we are coasting through our day and not focused on things specific enough, we're falling back into our subconscious. Our subconscious is using old patterns that are well established to make our choices. And so if our old patterns are not productive, they're not the positive things we're looking to get out of life, then this is where you start to feel that I'm stuck in a rut feeling, or I'm just sort of stuck and I can't get out of it. It's because you're not keeping yourself conscious of a new thing that you're looking to accomplish. So again, vision boards, declarations, action steps, talking to mentors, these are all different activities, or all different things that we're doing that keep us conscious of our goal. It keeps us consciously engaged in what we're looking to accomplish. So that's something to always keep in mind, is all of these things that we're looking to implement from this program are conscious tools to make sure that we're reminding ourselves over and over again of where we want to go. Again, think of those neural pathways. If we don't keep conscious of them, they're going to get swept away. And we need to keep our brain conscious so that it recognizes that, oh, whoa, okay, David's serious about this thing. He keeps bringing it up. He keeps looking at it, keeps focusing on it. I'm not going to sweep this thing away while he sleeps at night. I'm going to get on board and let's start building this road. Let's start building this road to this new place that we're going. All right. We can create anything we want in this life. It's our choice. We choose what to create in life. We choose the items on our vision board. Okay. And that's the beauty of this life, is that we can choose to create whatever it is that we want to create. And we're really just a conversation from a mentor away. We're only immersing ourselves for a week or so very deeply in information on that item away. We're only action steps and accountability partner away from getting really any goal that we want in life. And that's sort of fun to think of it that way. Because remember, a goal is an equation. A goal is math. It's just all a goal is a series of action steps strung together, which once accomplished, you're at your goal. You've accomplished your goal. Okay. So that's what I've got for this week. Did anyone learn anything new? Did anyone get motivated on some things that you can put in place to help you give yourself a better success rate, or a chance to succeed with the goals that you have? Anyone want to chime in there on the chat board? I know I'm going to make you do something here. Thanks, Brandon. Awesome, Eric. Okay, cool. Yeah, so these are all just different things. Think back to that list. Choosing your goal, commitment level. I'm going to forget everything now. I'm going to go back to my notes so I don't screw it up as I tell them back to you. Choose your goal, commitment level, immerse yourself, find the mentor, get the action steps from the mentor, track it, and report it. So that's going to be the stuff that gets you there, guys. It really is. And we're going to continue to build upon this for the last half of the program. So before we leave, we always have to give you your chance to actually implement. It's fun to sit here and talk and train on this stuff, but really without action, it's useless. So let's take some action this week. My challenge for you this week is to pick one goal to focus on and break it down into action steps by talking to a few people that have already done it. Write those action steps down, and let's get you an action steps tracker filled out by the end of the week. By the end, let's call it Friday at midnight again. Let's have you fill this baby out and pick an accountability partner that you can start texting every night. Here's my action step today was this, I did it, and my action step tomorrow is this. Okay, so that's what it is. Let's fill out an action tracker, start implementing action steps in our lives, and this is going to be a huge key to getting you to that next level of success, that next level of accomplishment in your life. So I want to just see again in the chat box one last time here, who is willing to take on this activity challenge for this week and to put an action step tracker in place for one of your goals? Just by chiming in there, go ahead and tell me who's ready. All right, Jamie and Brandon, great. Eric, great. Who we missing? I know there's a few more of you on here. Okay. Good. Be thinking about that, guys. And those of you, the majority of you are going to be watching this recording. Also, I would like to challenge you as well to take on this challenge of, let's get, Brandon and Dana got yours there, thank you. Filling out your action step tracker with one of your goals from your vision board. And feel free to jump in. I love hearing back from you guys on the Facebook group as you write these down and start moving towards your goals with an action step tracker. Let's have just somewhere, have as another activity sometime during the week, maybe jump on, just throw out a success that you've had. Maybe you throw out your tracker on one of the goals you have, just anything, a quick little video you can post that is something on this topic. That stuff just really keeps it, there's a reporting back piece that's cool there. And it just gives other people in the group ideas of what they can be doing. Seeing other successes really helps us as well. So that's what I got for you this week, guys. We're right about our time here, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. And week number 3 is in the books, is at least the training. Now it's over to you for the activity, for the step, for actually taking this and making it actionable. So I know you guys can do it. I'm cheering for you. And please reach out if you have any questions as you go along. And I'm here to help you out as always. And we will call it a night. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great one, and we will be in touch. Thanks so much.